Hello, I'm Galip Talay, Research Director at Sharq Forum. Today we are in Istanbul at Conrad Hotel for Rethinking Violent Extremism Conference, International Conference, co-organized by Sharq Forum and Afro Middle East Center. Within the framework of this conference, we have Ustaz Wadah Khanfar, who is the president of Sharq Forum, who just delivered his keynote speech this morning. And we would like to have you here with us for a short interview.
Thank you very much.
Today we discuss the violent extremism and the form of the violent extremism. There is the political causes of it, there is the sociological cause of it, there is the ideological cause of it. But from your talk, what I see, but there is also a crisis of ideas. You have been talking about the need and the necessity for migrating to new form ideas, to a new form of paradigm. When you look at this violent extremism, the issue that we are facing within the Middle East, what does it mean for this migration to new form of ideas and paradigm?
What I'm saying is that the current moment is a culmination of many factors. It's not one. There are many facets for it. So there's the geopolitical factor, there is the vacuum created in the region because of the balance of power, and because of course international intervention, and because of the transformation internationally and globally towards a post-Cold War system and so on. But the issue is, what you are referring to, there is an element within our thinking and within the region itself, which is historical in perspective, but at the same time, it is intellectual as well, whereby the current situation became possible. In a way, the rhetoric used by organizations and movements across actually the spectrum are in a way or another embedded in history. And therefore, the historical past has become the invitation for a future. And this is why sometimes we come up with not practical, but also sometimes even negative perception about what the future should have. That goes back in roots to the fact that this region for the last few hundred years has suffered a lot, has suffered from the lack of progress towards continuous renewal, enlightened transformation, which we call in our tradition ijtihad. And I argue that at this moment in time, not only we need renewal and ijtihad, we need even much more deeper than that. We need a hijrah, we need a migration towards new epistemological paradigm that could put us again in line with legitimacy as far as our identity is concerned and religion and so on, but also with it practicality and openness to the future. So we need to migrate from the past, from history, from the mentality embedded in the past, into a new imagination about the future, and reconcile all of that with our religion and our culture. And because of this, we need to ask ourselves many questions, and these questions, or what I call the grand debates, should not be continuity of the grand debates of the 60s and 70s, or the grand debate of last century and before that. So the age of Muhammad Abdu, Jamaluddin al-Afghani, Muhammad Rashid Rida was great at that time, but I think now we need even much more speed and much more courage to tackle things related to the future. The future looks to me much more globalized than before. And it should, in a way or another, our paradigm of thinking should respond to that challenge. We are heading towards that future, regardless if we like it or not. There is no question about the past. There is no question that the glory of history should represent itself as it used to be. It could represent a new glory for a new time, but not a cloning of the past. And this is what I'm concerned about.
Just a bit more clarification on this account. I mean, as you just said, right now the region's central malaise is trying to find some kind of formulas for the solution. And most of the groups, not just only extremists, even the mainstream parties comes forward with reproduction of the past for the current crisis. And you are offering something new. Let's migrate from here. But yes, we need to migrate from here. But even within this process of migration, what should be the relation towards the past?
You see, most of the transformation that happened within the Ummah actually was not created for the sake of let us sit down and create that and then we migrate to it. It's not like building a house, then after that we move to it. While we are in the process of moving and interacting with events on the ground that dictate itself on us, we question our paradigm of thinking. What I'm saying is the questioning process itself should be related to the reality of today, not to the history. So when we are talking about politics, let us, for example, take an example of political thinking. When we are talking about politics of today, we bring the following debate, and this is a history related to the past. A debate whether Shura, which has been described in our Islamic tradition, that was in a way a hallmark of the previous Khilafah system, for example, whether Shura is in line with democracy or not. That question is a question of the past.
Yes.
It is not applicable in the new debate. There is a new reality emerging in the world and in my territories, and I need to deal with it, and therefore the debate should exceed the discussion about these two kind of contradictions. Democracy versus Shura, for example. The economic system as well of the world, which is so much globalized, and the economic system in the Islamic tradition, which needs to be updated in order to match with this. So these kind of dualities, the dualism within our mind is creating the following formula. The legitimate or the perceived as legitimate is not practical. It's not contemporary. It's not capable of delivery. And what is delivering and what is practical is not gaining the traditional legitimacy. So the reconciliation is becoming not only a matter of bringing them both together, but in fact of inventing the new model based on the DNA that has gone within the Ummah, but that DNA open to the future and to the needs of the future.
Wadah Khanfar, thank you very much for this insightful contribution to our series.
You are most welcome. Thank you.